Yeah, I'm Stuie French and I play electric guitar mainly, and over the years I've worked with mainly the big country acts around Australia like Troy Cassar-Daley, Becky Cole, Gina Jeffries, toured with guys like the Highwaymen with Troy because Troy did the support, so Merle Haggard and all my heroes got to be out on the road with them fellas, and that was a highlight for me. It was fantastic because backstage you get to hang out with, like, Merle is my hero. Like, his band, everything about his music. I've studied his guitar player, like everything I play comes from his guitar player virtually. Roy Nichols was his name. And he was a telly picker, and he just plugged into an amp, straight into an amp, no effects, but just a bit of reverb. So that's how I started getting that sound. But since then, you get your pedal board and you've got to get all the different sounds. But so he inspired me to start with, and Chet Atkins. But touring with Troy with Merle was great because we'd get backstage and sit around. Merle would be singing and he'd say, we'll play Roly Poly, which is one of his classic old Bob Wills songs he used to do, and had a great guitar solo in it. And we'd both try and play it, just things like that. Hanging out with your heroes is a bit of a buzz. Country music that inspired me was the real deal, the country that sort of got a bad name, about truck drivers and beer drinking and, losing, your wife walking out with someone else, all that classic stuff, because that's where the real picking was, the guys who could really play. I work mainly with my wife, Camille. She sings, I sing too, but she's the singer and I'm the guitar player. Yeah, it's a nice little situation because we're on the road together and we've got our little family with us, and we're playing our own songs, our own original music, and we won a gold guitar last year at Tamworth for our latest album. It's called Big Days and Little Years, and it won the Best Alternate Country Album, so we was pretty blown away by that. So it's helped us get out there and about. Well, I was a bit sus, I've got to tell you, to start with, because I've tried a lot of these things and I haven't had a lot of luck. I've always gone back to an amp, mic'd up amp, because the sounds I like to get, that's how they were always done, a big amp with a big mic in front of it, and that have that air around it that you get. But I was really surprised how this sounds, that you've managed to get the sounds. I know I could use that sound anytime recording, and I get pretty fussy here, sort of, because you can do whatever you like. You can run 3 or 4 mics on an amp, you can space it out, whatever you want. Use a couple of amps to get the sound, and I could spend all day sometimes trying to get that sound and still not be happy. But in 5-10 minutes of me saying no, bit that, you had half a dozen sounds that I know I'd be quite happy using those. So it's done the job. It seems to have air around it, which I've never heard out of anything so far. I'm pretty basic. I don't do a lot of programming and stuff, so if I can't get the sound pretty quick, I know I'll go back to a guitar with a chord into an amp, because I know that works. But after seeing this, how you work that today, I quite easily, I'd plug that in. It's easier than setting up an amp. It sounds beautiful. Yeah, to play country, I find, especially on one of these things, it's a workhorse that it's not like a limousine to drive. You've got to drive it like a V8 Chevy, you've got to work at it, and you haven't got a lot of sustain and overdrive to help you through. You've got to use your fingers. So a machine like this that can capture the purity of those tones, because they're pretty pure. If it's not right, it really stands out. I guess that's what I'm saying, because it's a simplistic style. Yeah, so if that can reproduce the sound I'm after, it's doing pretty good.